Coming up on this edition of Second Alarm, we will learn about the department's Acquired Structure Training Program and how it helps better prepare our firefighters. We will learn about carbon monoxide alarms and how they could help save your life. And we will visit the Children's Fire Safety House as it visits Spokane Elementary Schools. These stories and more coming up on this edition of Second Alarm. Hello, I'm Jamie McIntyre, Community Risk Reduction Manager for the Spokane Fire Department. Carbon monoxide is called the silent killer because you can't see it, smell it, or taste it. More than 150 people each year die from accidental CO poisoning. Protect your family with these safety tips.
Hi, I'm firefighter Joanna Balin.
And I'm Lieutenant Isaac Anderson from the Spokane Fire Department.
As the colder months approach, people often ask about carbon monoxide, CO alarms, and how to protect their loved ones. First, it is important to understand what carbon monoxide is. Carbon monoxide, also referred to as CO, is a poisonous gas that can come from many sources around your home, including cars, generators, grills, fireplaces, and malfunctioning fuel-burning appliances, such as furnaces, ranges, water heaters, and room heaters.
CO is called the invisible killer because you can't see it, taste it, or smell it. At low levels, CO poisoning can present as flu-like symptoms with headache and dizziness. At high levels, people can experience mental confusion, vomiting, and loss of consciousness. The best way to ensure your family is protected from CO exposure is to have working CO alarms. CO alarms are designed to alarm before potentially life-threatening levels of carbon monoxide are reached. CO alarms should be installed on every level of your home. They should be installed and replaced based on the manufacturer's recommendations, typically 5 to 7 years from the date of manufacture, or when they no longer respond when tested. Some alarms are designed to last longer, and just like any appliance in your home, they become less effective as they get older. If you don't know how old your alarm is, you can locate the date of manufacture by looking at the sticker on the back of the alarm. If you're unable to find the date, it likely should be replaced.
Test your alarm at least once a month and change the batteries annually. Different series of beeps often mean different things for CO alarms. For example, 3 consecutive beeps may mean an unsafe level of CO, and 1 beep may indicate the end of life for the alarm. Read the manual that comes with your alarm to learn what each noise indicates. It is important to understand what your alarm is telling you.
There are several options when it comes to CO alarms. The most common power sources are plug-in or battery. If you choose a plug-in type alarm, make sure the alarm has a battery backup. This ensures that the alarm will work if the electricity goes out. The battery in your CO alarm should be replaced at least annually, or if the alarm no longer responds when tested.
CO alarms are often a separate unit than smoke alarms. There are dual smoke and carbon monoxide alarms available, and they cost a bit more than the single function alarms. Make sure your alarm meets the current safety standards by purchasing an alarm with a UL or CSA listing on the packaging. If you are renting, it is your landlord's responsibility to provide a working CO alarm. Talk to your landlord if you have questions about your alarm.
Never ignore a CO alarm when it sounds. Get outside immediately and call 911 from a fresh air location. When we arrive at your home, we will provide information for safe home re-entry.
Lastly, make sure your appliances are installed and operated according to the manufacturer's instructions and local building codes. Most appliances should be installed and serviced by a qualified professional.
If you have any further questions regarding CO alarms,
contact your local fire department.
Did you know that cooking is the main cause of home fires and fire injuries? Captain Jason Reeser has tips to keep your family safe.
I'm Captain Jason Reeser, and I'm a fire investigator with the Spokane Fire Department. We're here at the Spokane Fire Department burn building to talk about cooking safety and demonstrate how quickly a cooking fire can start. As you can see, we have taken the necessary safety precautions with equipment, a fire extinguisher, and trained firefighters nearby. We have 2 cups of regular vegetable oil set to high. We often see fires like this when people return home after spending an evening out and around the holidays. People are tired, they may have had a couple of drinks and don't pay attention to what they're doing. Grease gives us a bit of a warning and starts smoking before flames erupt. To safely put out a small grease fire, keep the pan lid nearby, gently slide the lid over the pan and turn the heat off. Leave it there until the pan is completely cooled. If you take the lid back off too soon, a fire can restart. For an oven fire, turn off the heat and keep the door closed. Another common fire hazard that we see is people using the stovetop as storage. Sometimes it's groceries, mail, or boxes when people are moving. It starts smoking and you can see how quickly the flames can erupt. Due to fire education efforts, most people now know that the last thing you do is put water on a grease fire. From time to time, people ask why. Today we are going to show how dangerous it is. Pouring water on a grease fire will cause the water to instantly boil and vaporize. The boiling water expands, spraying burning oil out of the pan. This can cause the fire to spread very quickly and can cause injury to people standing nearby.
This fall, Spokane City Credit Union donated the use of a house they own to the Spokane Fire Department Training Division. The house, which was slated for demolition, provided our firefighters a real-world training opportunity.
Today we're doing a multi-company operation on an acquired structure that was donated to the city by the Spokane City Credit Union so that we can conduct training on it in a real-world environment. Primary and secondary search for the second floor is complete.
It's good for the group there at the city, and it's good for the community, and it's good for the credit union. It's a win-win-win.
So the reality-based training is really important to the safety of our firefighters. And the difference between a lot of the props that we have at the academy and what we have here, they all provide value. But what this provides us is an exact replica of the homes that we respond to every day. They're different. We've never been in them before. They are something that we can't memorize.
Everybody's familiar with the training tower. We do a lot of activities out there, so there's no newness to it. Out here, there's real conditions to contend with: deterioration of the roof, a new structure that has to be negotiated, and figure out how the tactics are going to work for this particular structure.
If prospective homeowners or contractors want to donate their time and our access into their home prior to demolition, they can contact the Spokane City Fire Department at 625-7000. They'll be directed to the training division, and we'll go ahead and facilitate the proper paperwork, most of which they already do. So that would be acquiring the deed, conducting an asbestos inspection and abatement, and then a couple pieces of paperwork in terms of liability, and it's very little on the homeowner's part to make something like this happen. And it has a direct impact on the safety of not only the citizens but the firefighters.
For over 26 years, the Children's Fire Safety House has visited area schools teaching fire safety to 3rd and 4th graders. Here is more about this important educational program.
All right, go have fun. Bye, guys.
When a fire starts, it creates this really toxic smoke, okay? It's not good for us to breathe in.
The big things that we're talking about is individual preparedness in the household. So we're teaching children about smoke alarms, why they're important, how they should be maintained.
How often do we change the batteries in this smoke detector?
We talk about escape planning, hazards in the home.
They like to walk around, they like to grab things like this, and if all of a sudden they grab this, what do you think's going to happen?
We also have a kitchen where they can see some of the potential hazards with a cooking fire, how to safely put out a grease fire. We talk about what to do when your clothes catch on fire. Stop, drop, cover, and roll.
Cover your face, and then lay out, right? And then roll back and forth.
Every day, a lot of smiles coming in. I think it's a break from regular class where they get to learn something new and hopefully go home and share with their family.
Okay, guys, roll out of the bed. Fire alarm's going off, right? Stay nice and low. Both of you come over here.
Hear stories on a regular basis about not only parents of kids who recently went through the home, but also people that went through it when they were in their childhood. They remember the important messages that were shared, and they still resonate a lot of those stories in their daily lives.
911 dispatch, what is the nature of your emergency?
There's a fire in my house.
Okay, are you calling from your neighbor's house?
No.
One of the things that makes this program so impactful is that it's our Spokane Fire Department firefighters that are delivering the fire safety messages to kids.
What did you learn?
Get out of the...
They're able to share some experiences that they've had in fire situations and take the time to share some fire and life safety messaging.
I believe, yes, we are making an impact. We're getting out the information that a lot of families might have forgotten about or don't practice enough, and this is a good reminder for the kids to go home, share with their family, and practice.
I'm Jamie McIntyre, Community Risk Reduction Manager for the Spokane Fire Department. We're here today with Lieutenant Ethan Verdine, fire investigator, to talk about some of the general safety precautions with space heater use. Ethan, during the winter months, we find people use space heaters a bit more. Tell us about some of the things they can do.
Yeah, definitely. So you want to maintain a 3-foot clearance around space heaters. You don't want to put them next to drapes such as this. It's easily flammable. Just keep them away from the walls, out 3-foot clearance. If you have little children, just make sure we supervise the little children and also pets so we don't tip the heater over. And there's also probably some issues with how we go about plugging them in.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about that. I see you have some extension cords here.
Yeah, these are extension cords everybody's probably seen. You got the power strip and then your flimsy extension cord here. We want to try and plug our heaters directly into the wall outlet. Let's avoid plugging them into extension cords or power strips.
And why is that?
Well, simply because these aren't designed to carry the load that a heater produces.
One of the other things I've heard is something about UL listing. Talk about that.
Well, every appliance here in the United States carries a UL listing, which means it's gone through extensive testing to say that the heater is safe and meets certain safety precautions, such as tip-over switches and stuff like that. If the heater tips over, it'll turn off.
So it's important to have a space heater that is UL or ETL listed when you're buying one for your home.
Correct.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. So the important tips from today is to make sure that if you're using a space heater, you want to plug it directly into the wall. Make sure that you don't have it by anything that could catch on fire. Not using extension cords. You spoke to when people have young children to make sure that kids aren't playing around the space heaters, and then also making sure that it is listed by an accredited laboratory.
Exactly.
Thank you. If you have any additional questions about space heater safety, please contact the Spokane Fire Department Prevention Department at 509-625-7000. Smoke alarms that are properly installed and maintained provide an early warning signal which could allow everyone in the home to safely escape fire. The Spokane Fire Department and the Inland Northwest Chapter of the American Red Cross have partnered to make sure every home in Spokane that needs working smoke alarms gets them.
Started hearing a beeping in the house and couldn't figure out what that strange noise was, and so I went looking and finally went up the attic stairs and tried to turn on the light and couldn't turn on the light, and the black smoke started rolling down. Yeah, I am extremely grateful. I know that if it would have been in the middle of the night and I hadn't had a smoke detector up there, the chances are that my family would not have made it through the night. That smoke was thick and dark, And you know, we didn't have what we needed in our house to keep our house safe previously.
She very much credits our program as helping to make an impact for their family and potentially save them.
We started this initiative, again, about 5 years ago to install as many free smoke alarms as we can, particularly in vulnerable homes and communities, but truly everywhere that somebody needs them. So if we can install a free smoke alarm, if we can help people with fire escape planning in conjunction with partnerships like the Spokane Fire Department, that just makes all of our communities safer. And we basically just want to get out and save as many lives as we can.
1 photoelectric, 2 ionization.
Really, this is one of those programs where it's no cost to you. They come in, they put them in your house where they need to be, and then you can just rest assured that your family is safe when it comes to fire. And so it's a great program. I don't know why anybody wouldn't do it.
We see success in that lives were saved here, and the loss in this home could have potentially been a lot worse if there wasn't a working smoke alarm on that floor. So this is a smoke alarm save that we call it. This is a family in a home that is better off because they had working smoke alarms in their home.
We're seeing the payoff that inspires us to want to continue to do as much as we can every day to install smoke alarms during these big event blitz days. We're just trying to get the word out, get people to either check the alarms that they have or contact the Spokane Fire Department to make sure that we can come out and do that for them.
You know, the incident last night really just tells me how important it is to have them in all of those sleeping areas. Because it's just it was only 5 minutes before the fire department was here, and that fire was hot. You know, it would have been a deadly fire if someone had been sleeping up there.
That's all for this edition of Second Alarm. If you have any questions or comments, send us an email at fire@spokanefire.org or give us a call at 509-625-7000. Thanks again for watching, and stay safe.